Well, we said we weren't going to talk about tariffs today.
I was literally going to make the title anything but tariffs.
Anything but tariffs.
But you feel so moved.
The title is like about endangered animals or some shit.
Which we'll talk
It's going to be a very confusing.
Yeah.
Go
to tariffs.
Okay, tariffs. 4 minutes, go.
4 minutes on the clock,
wow.
go.
7.
Whoa.
Oh
7.
my God. Do you need to catch up on what happened?
Yeah.
Okay, so I wake up this morning. Yesterday at midnight, or I guess today at midnight, the tariffs all went into effect. The bond market was blowing up overnight. The MOVE index was like 170. Bad things were happening. Wake up this morning, people are panicking. Donald Trump at one point tweets, "Now is a great time to buy." At which point I was like, should I just buy everything? And I didn't.
Whoopsies.
Big whoopsies.
And then,
But then like 2 hours later, Donald, he's fucked. He rugged the algo traders because he tweeted this long thing. And the beginning of the tweet was, "I've enacted 125% tariffs on China because blah, blah, blah." This huge long diatribe about why China sucks. And at the very end of like a 5-paragraph tweet, there's a little line. "Also, I have removed all of the tariffs. We're just doing 10% reciprocal on everybody. Thank you for complying." So
the TLDRs missed out on that.
So you can see the chart where all the algo traders and the scalpers just like sold everything. And then it went whoop. And then TLDR, NASDAQ was up 12.5% today.
I saw it was second best day of all time.
Second best day of all
is that
time.
like in terms of percentage gain or like market cap added?
Percentage gain,
Percentage gain?
Fartcoin, plus 48% when I left the house.
Whoa.
And by the way, the one thing I know is the Farcoin chart during the last week or two was like the most resilient.
I've been saying this in the Discord. This has been my like one of my top. It's the only thing I chart these days is like Bitcoin, stocks, and
I'm so
Fartcoin.
glad you've come around, Stephen.
Oh, I've been around this for a while. Like
Armand's like, he eventually makes his way back to my investment
Armand's
thesis.
I don't need it, but
He's a tastemaker.
you know,
I've been on the Farcoin train for at least like 3 months at this point.
That's
I
nice.
am there.
You know,
So
our doors are wide open for your hot air.
Your cheeks.
yeah, we're turbo pumping. Everybody's FOMOing.
That's
40-something%. I was actually surprised to see
That's
ETH
really
up
awesome.
for once. I was expecting everything up, ETH down.
Yeah, it just
For once.
ETH's up, baby. ETH got options today, I think.
Oh, it did.
Oh my.
I know. Big day.
I could use some capital efficiency. Just trade it all into.
I would have loved some
leaps?
options back when I owned the stupid fucking coin. Would have been super useful.
This might be enough to get me back in. I thought I'm
on.
done. Thought I'm done with markets. Maybe
Ready to get hurt
maybe I'm
again?
back
Yeah, I mean,
We still have a long way to go to get back to December, January.
long way.
Long way.
Not
I
for
mean,
Farcoin
I thought the-
investors. It's just a
The
a
most
paltry
bullish
little
thing
2x,
about
but-
this is that, and I think it was the Treasury Secretary who said it, is that this whole thing was a negotiation tactic. And that line alone makes everyone feel a
I
little more
listened
comfortable.
to that interview actually.
Yeah.
That I want to give credit. I believe it was. Do you guys remember who dropped it in the?
I don't know, but like
Discord, it
he
was
just
the
walked out of the
president.
White House and
Yeah.
started speaking.
It was really good. It was really interesting. And I thought Tucker. I'm referring to a Tucker Carlson interview.
Oh, Tucker and Scott Besson.
Yeah, and it was
Good.
informative.
Good one.
It
Yeah.
was good.
I mean, this is basically what you and I talked about on Irresponsibly Long yesterday, which dropped today. The episode aged like fine wine already. Unfortunately, it wasn't actionable to anybody because they
didn't
played
get
it and everything was already
But
up.
you did say buy your first tranche.
But yeah, I mean, I bought a bunch of Bitcoin at like 76K. Fortunately,
My first tranche was 2% of my cash. Does that still count?
God.
yeah, how many tranches you have, dude?
But the main thing we were talking about was this idea that basically Trump is just going to do shit. There are going to be these exogenous forces that like force his hand, and he's going to be like, art of the deal. This was all planned. Whoosh.
Look what I did.
And everybody's going to be like, wow, so good. Which is, I think, what happened. I think barn market blew up, and then he got like a tap on the shoulder, and they're like, yo, you're going to actually annihilate the world economy.
Yeah.
And then he was just like, 10% tariffs on, like, what is even the outcome here? Like, we just nuked everything for 10% tariff.
Yeah.
Is that the
I mean,
outcome?
he's kind of come home with the point like, this is 90 days, and you better come with your best offers. And if you don't, and we don't like it, it's back on, like very clearly, just to
So we
maintain
just
the
have like
leverage.
another date that we just We just, I mean,
Liberate me again, please.
you just keep having these days where you just sit in front of the computer with like your finger over the green or the red button and just like watch them talk.
I mean,
you just
this is one thing I didn't
button.
vote for was I voted for the opposite of having to look at CNBC's homepage to see how my business is going to do over the next like year. And now I have to do that multiple times a day to be like, well, are we fucked? Are we unfucked?
So with the other party, it would be because of regulation. Is that what you?
Yeah, I
insinuating?
mean, we talked so many times in this podcast that like the other side was like overhanded in regulations and trying to meddle and like twist things in the way that they want it. And I'm literally getting the maximum amount of that,
Yeah.
at least for my type of business. You know?
Specifically for China.
Yeah. And I think it's interesting to see how he's going to get them to the table, because if you've been to China, you know, Chinese people, work with them, they don't really respond well to bullying them to the table.
Oh, they're like human beings.
Saving
Like,
face.
Who does respond well to that?
Yeah, but like saving face is a real thing in that culture. And so they need at some point, he needs to provide a saving face off ramp
Yeah.
where, and this happens all the time when two leaders make a thing. You have to come into a getaway where both people could say they win,
Yeah.
even if they're both lying, you know, so they have to be able to do that. So we'll see.
So
That happens.
you're going next week to China.
Yeah, it's going to be
So
fun.
you're going to solve this. Thank you
I
in
got it.
advance.
Diplomatic mission.
Yeah, thanks in advance, dude.
Yeah.
I saw some guy on Twitter post that his like container cost overnight went from like $4,000 to like $104,000 for shipment.
That'll happen.
4,000 to 104,000.
Yeah.
That's more than 104% or whatever.
Well, now it's more than that. Probably it's 125%. So it's more than the cost of the goods.
I mean, he said like one of his products, like the tariffs went up like infinity. Like he said he was selling like a $32 product that had zero tariff, and then he woke up and it was like $16.40, which is
That's nothing.
probably his entire margin.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
that's nothing. That's
I mean,
hilarious.
I'm like longing for the good old day. We used to like sit around here and be like, God, it's so messed up that this like Jerome Powell guy can just move markets. But at least then it was like once every like 1.5 months, and there was like a set date, and you just
Yeah, that's
and
true.
there was like some measure here. Now it's just like he's just like sitting in front of the computer, just like watching the Twitter feed. You're like, oh God.
But
Is he gonna tweet something?
it's interesting. I was on the phone with one of our factory owners, like the CEO of the company, and she was like, what do we even like? There's nothing for us to. Let's talk about something else, because like we can't plan further than a week. So
A week.
like, I mean, we were talking about all the options on the table, like moving her factory to the US, moving it to a different country, doing all kinds of random stuff, right? But like you literally can't take the discussion further than just like put a list together of all the options and all the scenarios. You can't take action on any of them until you kind of know what's going to happen, at least for 90 days. So, yeah, it's just volatile. But
Sorry, man. It sounds like a freaking nightmare for you.
well, it's actually
Yeah.
like you can't do anything right now because you don't know what the rules are. But I think it's fine. Like we have all the different scenarios, all the different options. None of them are great, but like at least some of them are very tolerable and doable. It's just which one do you choose to do? And we're waiting for, you know, which one to pick.
So your business is just reacting by freezing, basically? Or-
No, it's like planning, and then whenever we, you know, see like some kind of, whenever the options arrow from like 100 to 3, then we can choose a path to go down. But right now, like the available options, it's just so obtuse, you know? And so once we get a narrowing of it, then we can choose one and act on it. But until then, it's too ambiguous.
So help me catch up too, because I've been in like total fatherhood mode.
Yeah.
China has responded to increased tariffs by retaliating with increased tariffs.
Yeah, they just matching whatever the U.S. does.
They like increased, and then Trump was like, I'm doubling it. And then China released like a white paper last night. which
Oh
was,
yeah, I didn't read that.
Which is kind of a weird move, and the market pumped on this, right? Because the market's basically like, oh, this is like they're not doubling down. It's just been like this weird game of chicken.
I like this move of turning the world, like giving everyone else lower tariffs. It does give people an out to just move to a different country, obviously, but it does make sure that at least they're aligned with us and not with China. Because you could totally see some of these exports, like Indonesia or Malaysia, look at their exports to US, China, and you'd be like, that's kind of a toss up which way they kind of like point their compass towards. So anyway, We'll see how it goes.
I think I saw that Apple was going to produce phones in India.
They already are producing some, but what they've probably realized is that the infrastructure and corruption is just like impossible.
Whole new set of
Apple
problems.
Yeah, a whole new
today.
set of problems.
Ripped.
I bought with my little 50 cents. I bought all the Mag 7 except for Tesla and Nvidia, and
Could have thrown a dart today.
yeah, I could have just won on anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that VGT buy I made like 3 days ago is already up like 28%.
Congratulations. Did you survive your bond, your TLT?
Oh my god, dude! I
You
got
get
out of that
roasted?
thing just in time.
Oof.
Oh,
Jeez.
jeez, it's a freaking minefield out there, man.
Yeah, it is.
It's
Careful.
like you literally have to just log off, just buy stuff that you're okay.
Eric's
with
had the
for
best strategy.
10 years, or just
have a
like
baby.
sit in front of a computer. Oh,
Yeah. Sell at the perfect time. Sell at the perfect time and then have a baby and just log off. That's,
wow, must
that's
be
how
nice, dude.
I'm handling it.
Jeez.
Is our 7 minutes up? Any other takes on this?
That was perfect.
All right, cool,
All right.
done.
Yeah, gavel it, Armand.
We do
That's
need a
your
gavel.
show.